Hi, my name is Marcella Duncan, and I chose to do my oral presentation on the subject of The Rose and the Ring by William Makepeace Thackeray. I chose this because this piece contains all of the fantasy characteristics, but then it also slaps in a bunch of satire, which makes it really humorous and appropriate for any age, a child or an adult. You just have to love fantasy in order to love this work. What I'm going to talk to you about today are two things. We're going to talk about how William Thackeray uses words to create humor that's related to the folks of the era. The other thing is, we're going to talk about how he uses a situation or a social element of the era to also conjure up history by throwing it on top of fantasy. So, those two things, the words that he's using and his satire that he's using. Let's go with the words. So as you were reading through the story, you came across a lot of different things that would probably make you chuckle. One I know being the names of the characters. So Valoroso, what I got a lot was references to food. The order of the cucumber. What about heads off? Hats off. Yeah, it. He just throws it in there, and what you can imagine, kind of like he envisioned, is a lot of children around that fireside having that fireside chat, and he is trying to keep their attention. He's trying to keep them engaged. And as with children's literature, especially in fantasy, you have to use the words that kids would typically use in order to keep their attention and first get their attention and then keep their attention by continuing to keep it going. And Thackeray does a marvelous job of throwing all of those aspects in there. One of which is the satire. So he hits them with the words that they're familiar with, and then he hits them with the satire. And the satire is I don't want to say mocking, but then I do want to say mocking because it's satire, the monarchy. And they're in the Victorian age. So they are used to having the haves and have nots. We have the queen who has her rules, the way you should talk, the way you should walk, the how you should carry yourself. All of those things that people were expected to do. They were expected to play their part, if you will. So he throws in a lot of things that would make a child familiar with those royal aspects of kings and queens. So he has usurpers in there. He has exile moments in there. He has duels in there. He has women playing cards and women spreading gossip and all kinds of things, usurpers and everything that goes along with when I think of it is the Game of Thrones. So if you're familiar with that, the reason why people tune in so much is because they want to see all of those elements, all of those things pitting up against each other. And Thackeray throws all of those in a humorous light. He brings about a fairy, of course, because what would a fairy tale be without a fairy? Very black stick, sorry, very black stick. And instead of her being like that Cinderella, that fairy of Cinderella tales, no, this one is different. She comes in and she's trying to play matchmaker, and she's instead of giving blessings or giving a great wish for a new child, well, everybody doesn't like her around because she likes to give misgivings, and her misgivings is her way of again playing the Game of Thrones. So again, yeah, it's a really good story, and it was done for a Christmas fireside chat type, if you will, pantomime. but it is an exceptional piece that kids would laugh at. If you gave it to a kid who grew up in this era, you might have to explain a lot of things. But when we take ourselves back to that time, we know that they were very familiar with all of the quirks that William Thackeray places in there to get a chuckle or two. Um, Two of the things that I drew the quotes for this oral presentation is is about the Queen. So when we talk about Queen Bee, they're joking on her size. They said, she used to be such a beautiful queen, but now she's gained a few around the outer edges. And I got a quote right here to give you an example. And then, of course, the wasteful nature of royalty, and that is spending money when money doesn't need to be spent. He over exaggerates like the amount of money that they would be spending on, per se, the necklace. So he tells his wife, go ahead, go out there, get you something nice, get you something pretty. And then he says, "Oh, hey, nothing over 100 or 150,000 pounds." So of course the children would laugh at that. Adults too. They're going to laugh at that because they know that it's an exaggeration, but it's a play. It's a play on the monarchy. So again, this oral presentation is on The Rose and the Ring by William Makepeace Thackeray. We discussed some of the words and how he uses silly words, and we also discussed how he uses satire, play on the monarchy of the Victorian age. So I do appreciate your attention, and I hope everyone has a great remainder of the term. Bye now.